Dr. Sally Spencer Thomas. I'm a clinical psychologist and one of the co-founders of United Suicide Survivors International. But really, I'm just a sister on a mission after losing my brother Carson to suicide over 21 years ago. I want to start off by giving a special shout out to my visionary friend, Eduardo Vega, the one who turned to me years ago, 10 years ago to be exact, and asked, what if we built a home for people with lived experience so they could lead and not wait to be invited? We imagined a place where survivors of loss, attempts, and thoughts, their caregivers and supporters could all stand in their power, transform their pain into a mission, and boldly challenge outdated approaches to suicide prevention and suicide grief support. Then we pulled together our founding board, Ursula Whiteside, Margaret Hines, Joel Bosch, Heidi Bryan, and Stan Collins. I remember it well. That meeting in San Francisco, we were flipping the flip charts and brainstorming, and all of that came together to help launch something truly groundbreaking. I am the last founder to roll off the board, which makes this moment feel full circle and deeply meaningful. What first called me into co-founding United Survivors was a deep belief that people with lived and living experience hold wisdom powerful enough to change systems, shift narratives, and ultimately save lives. And that the world needed a place where that wisdom could be cultivated, not just consulted. Looking back over the 10 years, I am so proud that we took this fragile idea, scribbled on a cocktail napkin that night, and turned it into a respected global community. Our legacy is in programs, events, and partnerships, but it's really a movement that now stands on its own with structure, credibility, and momentum. I have many feelings of pride and love for this organization and all the people who helped out delivering that mission. But really, when we turned ideas into implementation, when we started growing membership, when we started collaborating with international organizations, when we started building storytelling platforms and collaborating with research and thought leaders, and now building into this lived experience collective community, this is change happening, and we're building the infrastructure around it to sustain it. Amplifying lived experience remains essential because it brings truth, humanity, innovation, and accountability. Policy, data, clinical experience, they all matter for sure. But lived expertise is what gives this work moral authority and relevance. I've witnessed countless acts of courage in this community, like someone's trembling, their papers shaking while they introduce their story for the first time, and hearing that voice gain strength as they showed up and served others while their heart was still broken. That courage has never been quite so loud as it is today. It is a steady and generous and contagious, powerful energy. I'm so excited to transition this board position to my dear friend, Leslie. Leslie and I met through shared advocacy, shared values, and a shared fire in our belly. We recognized each other in the belief that people deserve dignity and purpose and belonging, and that there's so much power in self-reflection and healing. And we realized that we could accomplish more together than either of us could alone. Leslie Philp is a visionary, thoughtful, strategic, and heart-led leader. She listens deeply, leads with steadiness and wisdom, and she's already got this global lens from her work in her day job for what is possible. She's absolutely the right leader for this next chapter. The future of United Survivors is bright. A strong governing board, an expanding global network, professional operations, new digital engagement opportunities that will allow tens of thousands more to learn and share and lead. Our next decade will be defined by scale, sustainability, and influence. I'll be cheering, advising, collaborating, and contributing whenever helpful. I will stay involved in the work, especially through storytelling and postvention and workplace initiatives, while also creating space for new leadership to shine. Thank you all for trusting me and growing with me and for believing in what we are building together. The torch is passed and the flame is burning stronger than ever.
The words I would use to describe Dr. Sally are pioneering, courageous, and committed. She's pioneering in that she helped start United Survivors, an organization whose focus is on the lived experience of people affected by suicide, suicide loss, suicide attempts, and thoughts of suicide. She has thoughtfully and courageously led this organization since its inception, and her commitment has been unwavering and steadfast in its mission. Sally and I first met participating in a forum on mental health and suicide prevention that my firm hosted. This was my version of a coming out story, as I hadn't disclosed to my colleagues about my history with managing and sometimes struggling to manage my mental health. When I met Sally, I saw her as this expert on suicide prevention and marveled at her knowledge and courage to speak so openly about this topic. I felt a real connection and sense of truly being seen. Shortly after the forum, Sally invited me to apply to join the board of directors, and I did not hesitate. I was home. I had found my tribe. I want to build on this foundation Sally has cultivated. We are coming up on United Survivors' 10-year anniversary, and that speaks volumes to her leadership, the dedication of the board, the volunteers, and the supporters. And I want to help carry that momentum forward. It's important, it's imperative to have the voices of those with lived experiences amplified. When I shared my journey through mental health challenges with my work colleagues, I was inundated with emails and messages of support and me too, and my brother, my mom, my cousin. They need to see from their friends and colleagues that this touches us all. I see a bright future for United Suicide Survivors International. Nothing about us without us. All of us. I want to continue the push for inclusion. We want to reach out to communities that historically have been ignored. They have a voice, but no microphone. We want to amplify their voices so they can share their stories in their own words. We want to expand our reach to normalize this discussion regarding mental illness and suicide across all communities. One of our board members said at our retreat, "If you're broken, you have a place here." Nothing about us without us.